I have solved the 100 men versus 1 gorilla debate using the rules of Dungeons & Dragons. Now, of course, I made a spreadsheet. I found a stat block for a giant ape, that's what I'm using. We have the stats from the great ape, and I calculated the hit chance of the gorilla, assuming that the men are commoners. But because this gorilla has a +9 to both of their attacks each turn, they have a 100% hit chance. And based on their hit die, their average damage is 22 per hit, which means every round they're doing about 44 damage. Versus the commoners that only have a 40% chance to hit and are dealing 1 damage per hit, because remember, these guys are unarmed. Each commoner gets 1 attack, which means that a commoner does on average about 0.4 damage per round. Now the question is, how do they affect each other each round? If the gorilla is dealing on average 44 damage, and we assume cleave, which means that if he hits one guy and kills him, he still has the remaining damage to transfer to someone else, but the gorilla is taking out about 5 people every round. But how much damage can the commoners do to the gorilla? This stat block says that it's a huge beast, but I think that's a bit unrealistic. I think a gorilla is actually going to be large, which means that it can be surrounded by up to 10 attackers at once. So as long as there are at least 10 commoners alive, each one dealing an average of 0.4 damage each round, that means the commoners are doing 4 damage every round. So if we extend this over a series of rounds, by round 9, half the commoners are gone, and the gorilla is only at 121 HP. By round 16, there are 12 commoners. The gorilla has 93 HP. You can see where this is going. By round 18, there's 1 guy left, and the gorilla is still over half his HP. We could also go a bit more conservative and say that the gorilla doesn't have 157 HP, he instead has 80. Well, even with that, by the time the last commoner is gone, he only has 4 HP. So anyway, if you ask Dungeons & Dragons, and if you ask me, the gorilla wins. But I'm sure not all of you agree with me, so let me know in the comments if that's the case.